Shalom, first and foremost, all praise and glories unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Arachach Kodash. They belong to our apostles, the bishops, the elders of the great millstone, and greetings, salutations, blessings, much love unto you, hopeful elect. Shalom unto you, your brother Shaquat with a video here. I'm going to try to condense this as much as possible, and just going to tie in two videos, or two topics, recent topics, that are blunders, if you will, of the IUIC, okay? And this on the left here is from IUIC TV, right? And this was a video that the Deacon Destruction Mode that went into, or priest, or whatever he called himself, Haka, went into from the Genesis, okay? And basically, in this, the IUIC had cut themselves about the new moon, all right? And so I'm going to just try to go through it as quickly and straightforward as possible, all right? Now, it shows here, and in any matter of fact, I've done videos on this before, and I'll even go to that app as well and show you when the new moon comes in, so you can see it in succession, all right, to when each day of the month is. And it's on any calendar, right? But even in this article that they used, they're going by the 7 days, but it says here there is an Akkadian word, Shabbata, the 15th day of the month, or full moon, showing you that the middle of the month is the full moon, okay, and not the new moon, okay. So it's crazy. So I have here on the right a few scriptures about the new moon, just new moon KJV, the simple Google search, right? Isaiah 66:23, which says, "And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another," because the new moons go from month to month, okay? The moon and month go together, right? But the Sabbath is weekly, all right? It goes week to week, every 7 days, all right? I mean, and that's pretty straightforward. 6 days shall thou do work, and the seventh shall be a day of rest, way back in Genesis, okay? And I'm actually going to get the law on this in Exodus, the 20th chapter as well, okay, in the Ten Commandments, right? But it says, "And from one Sabbath to another shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord." Psalm 81, verse 3, "Blow up the trumpet in the new moon in the appointed time on our solemn feast." And when you go into Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, it has the feast of the Lord that all hit on the new moon. On the Sabbath, and just the different ones that are Sabbaths. Because even the Day of Atonement is a Sabbath, and it doesn't fall on the moon cycle, okay, of an ordinary Sabbath. It falls on the 10th day of the month, okay. But that's something else. But that just pointing it out. When you look at the rest, they all pretty much fall on or around a version of the Sabbath or the new moon, right? Anyway, it says here, 43. Ezekiel 46, verse 3, it says, "On the Sabbaths and new moon, the people of the land are also to bow and worship before the Lord Yahweh," which is the name of the Heavenly Father, "at the entrance to the gateway." Okay, Amos 8 and 5 through 10, it says, "Saying, when the new moon be gone, and we sell corn, the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat." Okay, showing you that they couldn't purchase on there, because in the next video I'm about to show, there was a guy, I don't know his name or which IUIC camp he was from, but he was talking about he was telling Nate that he was, or Nathaniel, okay, General Nathaniel, whatever his name is, the head of the IUIC. He was saying, yeah, I was at the house keeping the Sabbath and not cooking or nothing like that, working or nothing. And he said, "Man, who told you couldn't have sex on the Sabbath?" Right? So teaching men so to break the law. In the scriptures, Yahushua himself said that. Okay, so that's a tough one. But just hitting these right quick. So that's going to tie in. I'm going to play that in just a second here. Then Johnson said to David, yeah, for this is the one in in the when he was going to miss the new moon cycle. It said, then Jonathan said to David, tomorrow is the new moon, and thou shalt be missed, because thy seat will be empty. Basically telling him don't show up, so Saul couldn't kill him. So he played like he was unclean, right? And that's just the quick understanding of it, right? But it says here, the new moon was a celebration in the Mosaic law as referenced in Colossians 2 verse 16. Let's go there right quick. Okay, which says, so don't let anyone condemn you, this is in the NLT, for what you eat or drink, or for not celebrating certain holy days or new moon ceremonies or Sabbaths. Okay, and it's not that we're condemning the IUIC. We're just showing you that this is how you keep it according to the lunar calendar, right? All right, and that's the main thing here for you, because you're teaching others, because people are learning from you, because you're a school or you're a church. So when you teach, others are trying to learn this. Now, if you tell them, but don't worry about it, this is how you teach it, but don't worry about it. But it's gotten to the point now where they're saying that you can pervert the Sabbath by having sex on the Sabbath. Okay, so let me go to this new moon calendar, and then I'll go to their video. Okay, here's the lunar calendar for the year 2024. Okay, and right now as I'm making this video, this is the month of December, and you can see as I zoom in here at the very bottom, it tells you when the new moon is and the full moon is, and the full moon lunar eclipse, full moon solar eclipse, right? But particularly the new moon eclipse is right there at the very bottom. Okay, this represents the first day of the month. Right there, December, that first double circle, the first day of December. Okay, because they have the days of the month right there. Okay, and then you count all the way to what? That quarter moon, which is the 8th day. Okay, of the month. But the first day, which is the first day again, which equals 6 days. Okay, 2 through 7. Okay, so 8 makes 6. That day's a Sabbath again. Okay, 6 more days after that. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It shows you is the full moon, as it says right under it, with completely colored in with a circle, right? Dead center. Okay, that's the 15th day of the month. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. All right, and then you continue, which is a Sabbath, right? Then you go another 6 days after that, which was 16. Okay, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, right? So the 22nd, which is that half a moon, which is that's the new first day of the week again, okay, is now the new moon. I mean, excuse me, is now a Sabbath, the last quarter of the moon. All right? And then when did the new moon come in again? When it's another hollow or empty, no light on the moon, which is a new moon. So the new Sabbath for 2025, the first month of the year, well, according to the Gregorian calendar, it starts in December on the 30th. Okay, now the lunar calendar also doesn't go by the January and all of this. Okay, and neither did we in the ancient world. Okay, we know that the month started, the year started in a different season, in the spring season, and this will be the last in this season. Okay, so there's another new moon that comes in on December the 30th. Okay, so you can see the full range of the days right there. It's the cycle of the moon, which is 29.53, and then some other numbers after that when it gets down to the science of it. But I mean, 2 digits should be enough after the decimal point. Okay. Now let's go to what they said. Now on these days, now we just counted 4 days out of the month. Okay, that you cannot have sex. That is the Sabbath, and you're supposed to hollow those days. Let me get it real quick before I get their video. All right, we're in Exodus chapter 20. And I'm going to read it in the verse 8 in the NLT. Remember to observe the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. That's every Sabbath, and the new moon is a Sabbath. Okay? You have 6 days each week for your ordinary work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath day of rest dedicated to the Lord, your power, Yahweh. On that day, no one in your household may do any work. That includes you or your sons or your male or female servants, your livestock, or any foreigners living among you. For in 6 days the heaven, right? This is what it's referring to back in Genesis 1. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens, the earth, the sea, and everything in them. But on the 7th day he rested. That is why the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and set it apart as holy. Okay? So it's showing you that. All right? So I went into that Sabbath day. This is H7676. Shabbat. Okay? And it says Sabbath, Day of Atonement, Sabbath year, week. Okay, shows you all of those, right? Go into there. Let's go into this here, 76, 73. Let me see if that's it also. Yep, 76, 73. Okay, to the root of that, Shabbat. But it's a different one, which says, okay, primitive root, to cease, desist, rest. Okay, cease, rest, desist, from labor, to cease, to cause to cease, put an end to, exterminate, destroy, desist from, to remove. Okay, cause to fail, to keep or observe the Sabbath. Okay. Cease, rest, away, fail, celebrate, right? Okay. Now when you get into this, well, a primitive root, to repose, i.e. desist from exertion, used in many implied relations, causative, figurative, and specific. Cause, to let, make, to cease, celebrate, cause, make, to fail, keep, Sabbath, suffer, to be lacking, leave, put away, down, to make, rest, rid, steal, take away. Okay. Cut off, interrupt. Okay, it interrupts the week. All right, but it interrupts your normal, ordinary work. Okay, let's see what this says down here, just to be thorough of it. So tap that entry. Okay. Let's see. Not tilled. Opposed to labor, we see in there. Okay, to take rest. Sit still, sit down. All right. Abstain from journeying. Okay. Rest from the gate. So your duties, you're gonna put it down. Okay. Let's see if they got anything else. And what I'm really looking for is going into to what they're saying now. This is what makes the scriptures so wonderful, because some of these things are pretty easy to be understood. All right, so let me show you their breakdown of what he said. I kind of quoted it, but I'm gonna play the video so you're not just saying I'm saying things out of my mouth. Earlier, all right. Bear with me. This is in the video. All right, so this is the video.
Just came into the truth years ago. You know, the bishop was like, "Yo, where you was at? I don't see you." I said, "Man, I'm home keeping the Sabbath." So I told him, I said, I'm not having sex on the Sabbath, no buying, no selling, no cooking. He said, "What? No sex on the Sabbath?" He said, "Who taught you that?" I told him, "Yo, man, I be going to the school up there, 125th. He said, He said, man, stop going up there, man. You know, and that's when he invited me to his house. You know, I went up there once.
All right, and that's the point right there. So let me grab these scriptures for you. Bear with me. Okay, but before I go there real quick, I want to get this since I'm already here in Exodus 20 for hallowed. Okay, I said, and hallowed it, the Sabbath, and hallowed it, right? H6942, Quadash. Okay, now when you come down, consecrate, sanctify, prepare, dedicate, be hallowed, be holy, be sanctified, be separate, set apart. Okay. Now, when majestic, all those words are wonderful. Now, when you get down to the crust of it, hallow, consecrate, separate, right? As you go further, purified, holy. Okay, you see these words coming up, right? What does it say here? A primitive root to be causatively make, pronounced, or observed as clean. Okay, ceremonially or morally. Okay, clean, defile. Okay, that's what it's not. You're not supposed to be defiled. It's supposed to be holy, right? Proclaim, purify, sanctify, holy, completely, right? Let's see if there's anything else to glance and see out of it. Pure, clean, to be pure, clean, right? Used of physical purity and cleanliness. Okay, be holy, sacred. Okay, hallowed.
Mar or spoil.
Okay, sully, mar, or spoil is defile. I'm just gonna Google it right quick. Either definition taint, right? Poison, pollute. Let's go into some more of these. It even says, and I'm jumping the gun, tarnish, infect, foul, dirty, right? And the opposite of purify is defile, the opposite of purify. Desecrate or profane, something sacred, right? Which this day is sacred. The new moon and the Sabbaths are sacred. Okay? Contaminate, pollute, okay? Violate. Vitiate. I don't know. Violate the chastity of, particularly a woman. Defouler. Defile. Okay? Trample down. Okay? And the opposite of it is sanctify, right? Profane. Treat something sacred with irreverence or disrespect, right? That's not what we're supposed to do to the Sabbath, right? So let's get into these other precepts. All right, that was Exodus 20 and 11. This is Exodus 31 and 14. It says, ye shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. 15 verse 6 days may work be done, but in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest, holy to the Lord. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Okay. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. Okay, this is just, we're talking about Sabbath, right? Now, kindle no fire on the Sabbath. Okay, right here in 35 and 3. Exodus, ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations on the Sabbath. Right, we know that one. Okay, Sabbath is talking about the Day of Atonement. Ye shall afflict your souls. All right, and it goes into that there. Okay, the 23rd chapter we know, right? Yep, let me see, another one I wanted. Yep, all these are hitting on the Sabbaths. So, yep, I hit those already. Okay, the 25th chapter. Now, Now, when you get into Leviticus 15, this breaks it down nice, quick, and easy. Okay, uncleanness, unhealthiness. Okay, in the KJV, and bodily discharges, all right, which make you unclean, is here in the NLT. So, well, it's pretty straightforward, right? Verse 2 in the NLT, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. Any man who has a bodily discharge is ceremonially unclean. This defilement is caused by his discharge, whether the discharge continues or stops. In either case, the man is unclean. Okay? Unclean. Now, when you go down further, it's going to show you that's how you do it. The issue the man has, right? Right? And further. Now, verse 16. Whenever a man has an emission of semen, he must bathe his entire body in water, and he will remain ceremonial unclean until the next evening. Let's go into another translation comparison. Okay, he said emission of semen. Okay, emission of semen, seed of copulation, right? Let's see. So we can see it at the same time. If any man's seed goes out from him in the BBE, okay, which is the semen. Okay, let's see. English. Emission. I'm going to let's look up the word emission.
Here's the definition of emission: the production and discharge of something, especially gas or radiation.
Okay, discharge of and ejaculation of semen. Okay, an ejaculation of semen. Ejection. Okay, ejaculation. Let's see what that says. The act of ejecting semen from the body. Okay. Oh, I could see you guys are the type, that'll be like, well, I could have sex. I just can't, I can't ejaculate semen. Like, this is ridiculous, bro. Because the act itself the purpose of the act is for that to happen. Okay? Instead of making all these details about, oh, I could do it but not do it, and trying to figure that out, just don't do it. Because while you're trying to figure out, okay, right before I get ready to bust, I'm gonna stop, and then I'll still be clean on the Sabbath. Instead of doing all of that, if she gets hers and I don't get mine, then I'm good. That's not how this works, man. Your mind shouldn't be thinking about that. Your mind should be focused on Yahweh, which was the very beginning of the video. Okay, it's a hallowed, separate thing that you spend this time with the Lord ceremonially. Okay, how do you do it ceremonially? Well, you observe by not doing no work, and then you give your mind to the Lord. And in ancient custom, we blew the trumpet, we read the law, we did certain things on the Sabbath. Okay? And when there was a feast, it was a different sound, and we held the feast. Or even the Day of Atonement. Okay? So, all right, it clearly says right there, whenever a man has an emission of semen, right, any clothing or leather, anything that it gets on, must be washed in water, and it will remain unclean until evening. Okay, look, after 18, after a man and a woman have sexual intercourse, they must each bathe in water, and they will remain unclean until the next evening. Okay, which we done went through that. I mean, I can go through it again. Let's go to the word unclean. I mean, this is like, we have to do this, and this ain't for them. Seminal seed, that was the word. Be unclean. H2930. Uncleanness. Tama. Okay. To be unclean, impure. Okay? to become unclean sexually, religiously, ceremonially, to defile oneself, be defiled sexually by idolatry, ceremonially, to be regarded as unclean, defiled sexually, religiously, ceremonially, okay, to produce unclean, declare unclean, to profane. And when you go into their video, they try to make it, oh, because this is our business. You know, that's why the brother went into that in his video. Oh, this is our business. What me and my woman do, it's nobody's business. No, that's not how this works. This is how you observe the Sabbath, the Sabbath, the new moon even. Okay? This is how you observe it. Pollute all the words that are opposite, okay, to Sabbath. All right? Utterly unclean. Okay? Become to be or to become unclean, to be polluted. Okay? Especially used of uncleanness in a, get that word, in a Levitical sense, both of persons and of animals whose flesh was not to be eaten, unclean animals. Okay, it's showing you to be unclean by anything, pollute oneself as a woman by adultery. See, it's showing you the different levels of it. But it clearly said the seed. Now, let's go all the way back to the verse. And it said have sexual intercourse. Clearly, right? But then it says another version of uncleanness in 19. Whenever a woman has her menstrual period, she will be ceremonially unclean for 7 days. Anyone who touches her during that time will be unclean until evening. Okay? Anything, and it goes on and on and on. Okay? Anything that she touches is going to be bad as well. Okay? From 20 on down. Okay? If any touch any object she has sat on, you must wash your clothes and bathe yourself in water. All right? Touch her bed. Woman sits down or lies upon. Anyone who touches her during that time, okay, at nighttime, okay, until evening, right, will be, all of this is right there in there. If a man has sexual intercourse with her and her blood touches him, okay, this shows you right here, he will remain unclean for 7 days. Okay, let's go back up so you can see the difference. Okay, you must wash yourself. Yeah, 22, right? I'm jumping around, but I think you get the point. So if you touch any object she has sat on, you must wash your clothes and bathe yourself in water, and you will remain unclean until evening. That's the same evening, the next evening to come. But if you have sexual and the blood get on you, okay, then you will be unclean for 7 days. Okay? It goes on. Okay? But that's the point. All right? So how you going to keep the Sabbath holy if you're unclean? All right? So I just wanted to run through that. It went longer, but, I just wanted to touch the whole thing. So Lord, what is was edifying. Giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem, Shai, into the next one. Shalom.